Hello, welcome to a vlog. It's me, John, aka Nosy. It's been a bit since I did a vlog, and I just thought to do a vlog. So here's the vlog. So yes, hope everybody's well. We are not long away now for TF Nation 2023. Over on my main channel, my TF Nosy channel, I've been doing mostly TF Nation related videos, and yesterday I finally uploaded my fourth video for Transformers Rise of the Beasts. So yes, it's Operation TF Nation. Since getting back from holiday, my time away in Spain, Salou. So yeah, Salou. Let's talk about Salou. Yeah, I was going to do a post-thoughts upon coming home, but I never got round to it nearer the time. So, better time than any, really, isn't it? To do it now. So, Salou, it was a good holiday. It was a good time away. I very much enjoyed the time away. It was just obviously me and my friend Smithy. Some people might think that's a little bit strange, just two people going on holiday. Nothing romantically involved in that at all. We are just friends, obviously. And we both like women, obviously. but no, some people might find it a bit weird. But end of the day, we did ask a few other people if they wanted to come, but they couldn't. So it just ended up just being me and him. But no, it was a good week away. It's sort of the second time of being abroad on a plane, and upon getting there, the hotel itself was really good. If you've seen my holiday vlogs, I've uploaded 2 vlogs that was covering what I managed to record. Like I say, I didn't record every single day. It was very spontaneously done throughout the whole time there. And but yeah, it was good. It was very hot. It was warm. Not as warm as it is at the moment, because Spain and other parts of Europe at the moment are in the 40s at the minute, and they've got like a national. Apparently, there's some wildfires apparently as well in Spain at the moment. So I'm very glad we aren't there during this, because that would have been a problem. And to be honest, it took most of my energy to just walk around in the heat that we had. We was only in the mid. It was around about 30, 31. I think one of the days, a couple of the days were about maybe 32, which is hot enough for me. It was very much hot enough for me. I caught sun. I got sunburnt on the back of my neck. And my bald spot, funnily enough, got sunburnt and started peeling as well. So yeah, that was interesting. But no, the holiday itself was good. It was much more chilled out, because obviously we went the first time we went to Spain, we went to Benidorm, and compared to Benidorm, Salou, comparing Salou to Benidorm, they are similar to a point where they have a lot of like little merchant stall shop things selling a load of tat. But I managed to find anime related stuff there. I was actually quite surprised. I mean, I know anime is very, very popular in Europe, and very popular in Europe as well as in America. And yeah, but I was very surprised to see actual authentic anime products are being sold. And so I managed to pick up a floor mat from like a bit of carpet or whatever it is of Goku from Dragon Ball Z. Managed to pick that up from one of the stalls, as well as a mug for Dragon Ball Z mug. And I picked up a t-shirt of a character called Nezuko from Demon Slayer. So yeah, I managed to pick up like 3 things that were anime related, and they weren't too expensive either. They was actually quite reasonable. So that surprised me. But yeah, compared to Benidorm, it was a little more quiet, a bit more quieter in comparison. It still had like a party scene to it, but it wasn't as bad. It was mostly kind of like themed bars. There was a couple of English bars there. There was one that was obviously Liverpool bar, but we didn't go in there. Good thing I didn't, because I don't like Liverpool, the football team, I mean. I'm a Man United fan, so that wouldn't have gone down too well. um, and also I'm a Hull City fan as well, so that it certainly wouldn't have gone down well. But no, there was a couple of Irish bars which we went into, which were owned by the same people. There was one called the Temple Bar, and what was the other one? I can't remember the other one now. But there were two Irish bars, and we went in there a couple of times over the time we were there. They were really good nights. It's a kind of interesting, because we was originally going to go to Ireland instead of going to Salou, but it was actually cheaper to go to Salou than it was to go to Ireland for a week. But we were actually going to go to Dublin, and to be honest, we actually spoke to a couple of people, that were in there, and we were actually saying, where would you recommend to check out in Ireland for a holiday? And everybody said, well, Dublin isn't Ireland. Do not go to Dublin. Go somewhere else. And people were saying, I don't know, can't remember where they suggested now. But yeah, a lot of people saying that Dublin isn't Ireland. It's overpriced. It's just nothing but tourists and everything, which it is. I mean, to be honest, I've always wanted to go to Dublin, mostly because of the social scene there, and I also wanted to check out the Guinness Brewery Tour. And obviously there's a couple of pretty famous bars there, but a lot of Irish people cannot stand Dublin, and they're saying there's a lot better places if you really want to. There's other places in Ireland where you can really sample what it's like to be in Ireland, much more than you would do in Dublin, because there's nothing really there in Dublin. I tried to look and see if there was any way we could check out, and there's literally nothing. It's a couple of bars that are suggested as some of the most famous bars that are in Ireland, in Dublin. But it was mostly, we only wanted to really do the Guinness Brewery Tour, which was something we wanted to do, because obviously me and Smithy, we both love our Guinness. But that was literally going to be the only highlight of the holiday, was going to be the Guinness Brewery Tour, because there's literally nothing else really to do there. But yeah, it's a kind of a good thing we didn't waste our money in Dublin. I think we'd have probably come away, yes, we'd have probably enjoyed ourselves, but it would have been incredibly expensive. We would have needed a lot more money, spending money, in order to kind of just see ourselves through, in order to, for food, not just for drinking alcohol, but for food. Everything, the prices of everything, even the hotel, everything would have been incredibly expensive just to be in Dublin. But no, yeah. So we went around a couple of Irish bars, and it was really, really good. They were fantastic. They had a couple of people doing proper folk music, a couple of musicians that were just doing acoustic sets. And, they were really good. We had an absolute ball, an absolute laugh, even though we're two English guys in an Irish bar surrounded by pretty much all Irish. There was a couple of other people that weren't Irish in there. There was a couple of Scottish in there as well. But, it felt like, it felt a bit strange. And we actually got asked as well, what's a couple of English guys doing in our Irish bar for? And I went, well, we wanted to come in because it's interesting. I don't know how you can answer that question. But no, so yeah, it was good. It was much more chilled compared to Benny. Benidorm is pretty much just party, pretty much just party non-stop. And obviously, don't get me wrong, I do like to have a party, but to be honest, I don't do nightclubs. And Benidorm is pretty much just all nightclubs, and me and Smithy just don't do nightclubbing anymore. Plus, I won't say we're that old. We're only in our early 30s still, but I just don't do nightclubs. I don't even do the nightclubs in Hull. There's shite, except for Spiders. I do have a soft spot for Spiders, which is a nightclub, but yeah, it plays the music I like. I don't really like a lot of the pop stuff, a lot of the current music on Capital Radio and things like that nature. I'm not a big fan of that stuff, really, as a whole. I'm more. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a couple songs that are in the charts that I don't mind, but it's just not the type of music I really like to listen to or gravitate towards. I'm more into my rock, classic rock, metalcore, a bit of thrash metal, and I like a bit of jazz, a little bit of R&B, rhythm and blues. Yeah, and I like a bit of 60s, 70s, 80s. I'm kind of, even though I was born in 89, but yeah, I got brought up on a lot of my parents' era music and everything as well. So I grew up with listening to a lot of 60s and 70s. But yeah, so it was a great week away. Even though, the hotel, the food and everything we tried was good. The hotel was actually not too bad. I was actually quite chuffed with the hotel, really. The entertainment in the hotel was probably a bit crap. There was only kind of like one day where there was actually two days where, like, the first day we got there was actually a band playing. They weren't too bad. They weren't great, but they weren't too bad. And then there was another one where there was like fire eaters. I don't know if that's what the term, but they were kind of like twirling around fire and putting it down the necks and spitting it out, and then they were doing like different routines, like all these different things. That was actually quite cool. But yeah, the entertainment as a whole, it was pretty much exactly the same each day. They had an hour, about, I think it was between 8 and 9, or 8 or 9 and 10 or something, just for an hour, and it was a programming for the kids. Basically, we found Slough and our hotel was much more catered to families. It did feel much more like that. It wasn't really catered to the whole party sort of aspect or adult. It wasn't mostly an adult hotel. It was a proper family one. So their entertainment and everything they put on was centered for families, which is obviously fine. I mean, obviously, when you go abroad, a lot of people take their kids along, if they have kids and all, which is good, which is fine. But they had like a little bit of entertainment for the kids, and it was pretty much exactly the same as each day, and we just got really bored of it. So yeah, that was kind of one downer. But also something happened to Smithy, and nothing happened. He didn't get assaulted or anything like that, but he had his mobile phone stolen off of him. I'm not going to go into many more specifics on that because I don't think he'd want everything put out there. But he basically had his phone nicked when we was out. So that put a little bit of a downer on the holiday for him. Luckily, we were both insured and everything, but whether he's been able to sort anything out with that, I don't know. But we'll wait and see. But no, it was a good holiday. It was a good time away. It's always good to be somewhere else, to be honest. But it was good. It was good. It was a nice change of pace. We went on a couple of excursions. We checked out a firework display on board something called the Ocean Fly, which was this basically a boat. I forgot what they call it. Is it a catamaran? I can't remember now. It's one of those wide vessels. I can't remember what they call them. I think they're called catamarans or something like that. But yeah, so we went on board something called the Ocean Fly, and we went to go and see the firework display while on the water, and that was really cool. And then we went across to a place called Cambrils, and in Spain, which was literally, we had to get a ferry across to get there, which was really nice. That was much more quiet. That was proper Spain. That was a proper little Spanish town. That was a little bit, even though it still had obviously it had its restaurants and that, but it didn't really have the nightclub scene. It was more chilled. That was actually quite cool to have a walk around for a couple of hours. But yeah, so the thing is, we found in Salou, in order to really make the most of the holiday there, we had to do, we had to kind of pay money to go places. There wasn't really anything we could go to in Salou that wouldn't really, where we wouldn't have to pay to like get on a coach or get on a boat. So that's the only downside. But when it comes to the difference between Salou and Benidorm, there's actually quite a lot to do in Benidorm without having to do an excursion or two. But yeah, you can still do excursions in Beni, but there's still a lot you could check out. There's still a lot of culture. There's not that, you could literally walk. You could literally walk within about half an hour to an hour, and you would actually be somewhere that's actually a bit more historic Spain and so on. But with Salou, you don't really have that as much. It's a little bit more grounded, and you really have to spend quite a bit of money in order to kind of make the most of it. That's the only downside to the holiday, is that we found that we had to really kind of spend money in order to kind of make the most of the holiday, doing excursions and things. But all in all, it was a good holiday. We did enjoy ourselves regardless. But whether we'll go to Salou again, I don't know. I wouldn't mind to go again, but Smith is a little bit on that thingy. He'd rather go to Benidorm again if we did Spain again, or try somewhere else, because there's other places in Spain to try. I'd love to go to Barcelona personally. That is somewhere I'd like to go. But yes, that's that. So TF Nation, like I said at the beginning of the vlog, TF Nation is now not long away. It is now Operation TF Nation for me. I've done my response to Chris and Tim Gaunt, Rodimus Minor. I did my response to him. He did a do's and don'ts video. So I've done my response to him. When I came back, I managed to get that video out. And then last week I did my own personal questions video in regards to TFN 2023. And I've had a couple of people respond to me already. I've had obviously Rodimus Minor and Tim, Chris and Tim, and those two did a response to me, and Jinxed, I think his YouTube channel is. He's also done a response to me, so I'm going to be watching those tonight, so I can see what the responses were to my questions. So I'm happy that they've had at least a couple of people respond to it. But again, if anybody's interested, this is the video in question. So if anybody tries to look for it, the link is in the description. There's still time, obviously, if anyone's got time, and those that are actually going to TF Nation this year, if you want to participate in a video response or just comment below the video itself and with your answers, then that's good as well. But yeah, I did 5 questions. I've tried to come up with possibly a part 2, but to be quite honest, I can't think of anything. I really can't think of anything without having to repeat myself in past years or tread on other people's feet, because other people have done questions as well. So I don't want to repeat what they've said by accident, and I don't want to really repeat myself. It's trying to come up with other questions. It's so difficult, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with the questions I came up with in that video, and I think they'll be pretty much perfect for this year. Unless I do come up with some ideas, then I probably might do a part 2, but I don't know. But yeah, if anyone's interested, check it out, link in the description if you're interested, if you're going, that is. But I'm very much looking forward to TF Nation. It's going to be fantastic. It is literally my highlight every year. I'm going to be travelling for the first time on my own. That's going to be very, 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 very peaceful trip. I'm going to be travelling down on my own. I thought I was going to be sharing the coach trip down and back with Tony. Obviously, Sam's not going this year. Sam isn't going, so Tony is going, but he's managed to pick up. He told me last time I saw him last weekend in town, in Hull City Centre. I just bumped into him by chance, and I went to go and see Transformers: Rise of the Beast for the second time, and I went to go and see the new Mission Impossible film. And as I was walking back from the shops and having a quick drink, I was trying to shelter myself because it was pissing down with rain as well. And I just heard a "Nosy," and I thought, looking around, and it was Tony. So we stood and had a chat for half an hour, and he told me that he'd managed to sort out a lift. I think Nick, I don't know, I think it's maybe Nick Snowden, True Phantasm. I think he's going to be picking him up. There's going to be, so he's managed to get a lift sorted to get to Birmingham. So I'm going to be travelling on my own on the coach, which is fine. I know how to get there. I don't have a problem with Birmingham. I'm pretty familiar with Birmingham. But I probably will be meeting up with Lawrence, my good friend Lawrence, Attack Solo 90, as I know him as. I know he goes by something else now, but I always say Attack Solo. But yeah, my good friend Lawrence, he's going. So I don't know whether he's going to be getting the same coach as me, because we do arrive in Birmingham at the same time. I arrive at 2:00 and he arrives at 2:00. So I don't know, because last year the coach from Hull to Birmingham, they went over the Humber Bridge, a different route, completely different route. We usually used to go, in the past, we went another route, so it was pretty much just all motorway all the way there, and we used to stop at something known as Woodall Services, about halfway there, roughly about an hour and a half, so basically about an hour or so into the trip or so, the driver would stop at Woodall Services. But last year we didn't do that. We bypassed that completely. So, but in the past we used to, obviously Lawrence, who lives in Leicester, around near Leicester anyway, and he used to, in the past he used to kind of get on our coach at Leicester Station, and we would go the rest of the trip to Birmingham together. But whether that's going to be the case this year, I don't know. I'll have to find out what the service number is, if with his confirmation for travel. If it matches, then he's most likely going to be on the same coach as me. But I will be travelling pretty much on my own there, which is fine. I've travelled, I've been on trains, I've done stuff on my own, so I don't mind that at all. It's going to be nice not having Tony moaning about the coach, moaning about how hot it is on the coach and how much there's not much leg room. But no, so it's going to be a nice and peaceful trip for me. But I love you, Tony, really. But yeah, no, it's going to be a nice peaceful trip. So I will be arriving on the Thursday. I'll be travelling up on the Thursday, and I'll be arriving in Birmingham at the coach station for about 2:00 in the afternoon. And then I'll be probably meeting up with Lawrence at the coach station. If he's not getting on my coach, I'll meet Lawrence there, and then probably go across to New Street Station, get the train further up the track to Birmingham International Airport, NEC. And it'd be a lot cheaper, because in the past it's been about 2 or 3 of us meeting up, and then we would usually get a taxi at the coach station. But with 2 of us, it's going to be quite a lot of money. I think it's nearly about 30 quid or something. It used to be about 30 quid from the coach station to NEC. because we are now, obviously the coach station is right in the centre of Birmingham city centre, just outside of the Bullring shopping centre. So basically, it's also known as Digbeth, the area it's in. And then basically, the coach, it's basically from the coach station, getting in the taxi, all the way to basically we're now going completely out of the city centre and going pretty much right on the outskirts, away from everything. So it's just easier to just go to New Street Station and get the train further up the track. I'll have to keep an eye on things, make sure that no last minute train strikes happen. But I think that's going to be the best option. It'd be a lot cheaper as well. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. I know for the first time I'm going to be seeing a friend of mine. Well, second time. I actually found out today that I have actually met him in the past, but briefly. A guy called Alpha Prime. He designed my TF Nosey channel banner. My banner and my profile picture and everything. My cartoon profile picture and everything for my channel. He designed it all for me, or did it all for me. And so yeah, apparently I met him a couple of years ago when he was talking to Zort Rider. This was before COVID, so this was probably maybe the year before everything shut down because of COVID. So yeah, that's going to be fucking good to finally kind of see him, Alpha Prime. It's going to be good to be able to have a proper conversation with him. So I'm looking forward to seeing him and everybody else, all my good friends. So yeah, it's going to be good, people. It is going to be good. It's going to be very, very good. So yes, what else can I talk about? Oh yeah, I want to talk about something that has really baffled my brain. Basically, Tony, again, you can blame Tony for this. But Tony, he kind of put up about, he shared a memory of basically auto assembly back in 2009. And 2009 auto assembly was Tony's first event, going to these events. Mine was obviously 2010 auto assembly. And basically, he commented saying something like, bloody hell, I've been going to these conventions for so-so and everything. And I kind of did the math in my head. And basically, if COVID didn't happen, I would have been going to these conventions for 13 years back to back. I would have been going to these conventions for 13 years. If basically TF Nation as a physical event, I've actually been going for about 10 or 11 years. Yeah, I'd say maybe 11 years as a physical event, but there was 2 years where there was nothing. You know what I mean? There was nothing for 2 years. It was a digital event. It was an online event. I don't really include those, because we didn't go to it. It was something you had to watch online, so I don't really think of them. So I'm going to knock off 2 years to make it fair. But yeah, if COVID wasn't a thing or it didn't happen, I'd have been going for 13 years since 2010 to now, about 13 years. But obviously it's been 10 or 11 years due to the disruption that COVID caused. And then obviously YouTube is the kicker. I've been doing YouTube now for 15 years. Let that sink in. I've been doing YouTube for 15 years. I started about roughly a year to 2 years before I went to TFN, to Auto Assembly back in 2010. I had an original channel. I've mentioned this before, called Mills00, which was my first YouTube account. and that's where I started making videos on. And back when I was known as Nosey00, basically was when I started, and that would have been about 2000 and that channel has been around. That channel probably would have been just before the 07 movie started, or when the 2007 live action film came out. So that would have been around about then. But then obviously that channel's gone. So that channel's gone. But my TF Nosey channel would have started around about 2008, 2009. So yeah. So I think about 2009, just to put a number there. So 2009, I've been making videos considerably, pretty much consistently, since 2009. But yeah, all in all, with my original channel and now my TF Nosey channel, I've actually been on YouTube for about 15 years, which is a bit scary. I'm just like, where the hell has all that time gone? Where's that history gone, people? Where has that time gone? I knew I'd been on YouTube for quite a while. Obviously, I have been a bit. I'm one of the part of the original crew of UK Transformer toy reviewers. Obviously, when I first started, people like I Love Mess and George Exaggerated Elegy, Skullgrim 140, Jared Wolfgang 1. When I was kind of starting out, those people were making videos at the time as well, and other people in America and Canada as well that were pretty much part of it as well. So I was a little bit late to the party, maybe give or take a year or so. But no, I was part of some of the original YouTube channels at the time, making YouTube Transformers reviews. And I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for a couple of those people doing shout-outs to me in their videos. There was Skullgrim 140 and there was Jared Wolfgang 1. They both did shout-outs to me, and they helped me kind of gain a little bit of an audience at first. And there was a couple of people. I think there was a couple of people in Canada and America as well that shouted out to me as well. So I started getting a little bit of a wide audience bracket for basically, knowing people in Canada and America as well as in the UK. So yeah, and then obviously 2010, going to my first convention, meeting people ever since 2010. And I've made some great friendships, and it has been a very, very interesting up and down road. I've made some stupid mistakes in that time when I was a much younger person when I started out. I was probably about 18, 19 when I started YouTube. And yeah, I wouldn't really change much about it, to be honest. It obviously it's one of those things. It's a human fact. You make mistakes and you learn from those mistakes. And I think I have learned quite a lot from times where I've done some stupid stuff, made videos that have pissed people off and upset people. I don't do that shit anymore. At least I hope I don't. A lot of my videos are, even though I still spontaneously upload, I don't script my videos. I've never scripted my videos. I've gone through phases with how I come over in my videos, such as narration, voiceover, where it's just pictures and things of that nature, and it's just me talking. Then I've also done disembodied hands, me behind the camera, and then I've also done in front of camera. So I've gone through phases throughout the years. But I wouldn't really change much about my YouTube journey. I wouldn't really change much at all, especially the friendships I've made. I certainly won't change that for anything, but I would maybe go back and, slap myself across the face, my younger self across the face, and say, don't make stupid stuff like that, because it's not good. And then go back to my normal timeline, and then probably fuck everything up for everybody either way, but But no, it's been an interesting journey. I can't really quite believe I've been about 15 years on YouTube all in all, with my original channel and TFN, and I've made a few channels over those years, but the only channels that are still about is this one. This one's been around for about, bloody hell, I think this channel's been around for a good 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 years on its own. But yeah, these are the only 2 channels I have: my vlog channel and my TFN channel. So yeah, but my God, all in all the, I've been around for about 15 years. My God, I feel old. But anyway, so that's going to be today's vlog. Thank you ever so much for watching. I really can't wait for TF Nation. It's going to be fucking brilliant. So yeah, again, just a quick reminder before I go: if anybody is interested or is going to TFN this year and would like to participate in my questions and do a video response or whatever it is you want to do, then check out the description below for the link. It'd be nice to get some more people participate and get some communication going. There seems to be a little bit more buzz for TFN this year through making stuff, but a lot of the people that go aren't going this year. I know Jared and Sammy aren't going, and Sam's not going, 000 Firestorm. There's a few people that sadly aren't going that usually make videos about TFN. So there's a couple of names that aren't making videos because they aren't going to be there. So, but no, there's been 2 people so far, Jinxed and Rodimus Manor, Chris and Tim, that I've done responses to mine so far. Thank you very much to you 2 for your responses. But yeah, if anybody else wants to make a response to my questions, then you are more than welcome. It's always nice to get some more out, get it out there, and try and just raise some awareness for the convention and get some hype going for people, for people that have never been, or first timers, or regulars alike. It's nice to get something going for it. But anyway, so thank you for watching. I'm gonna go, and so stay tuned. I probably might make another vlog probably before I go to TFN. I want to do a pre-TF Nation video, or a live stream again, probably the week before we go, probably either a Friday or a Saturday evening. I want to try and do a live stream, pre-TFN live stream. The one I did for last year's, I was really amazed by, because I actually got Billy. Billy came on for an hour or so, and he had Sam and Tony and Lawrence. So there was quite a few of us, and it was actually really good. I was actually very pleased with how last year's live stream, pre-TFN live stream, went down. So yeah, I'm going to do that again this year most likely, so keep an eye out. But also keep an eye on my main channel. I know this channel's separate, but my main channel, my TF Nosy channel, I will be doing some other TFN related videos. I will be uploading, I'm going to wait a little bit longer to nearer the time, but I want to do another update video for TFN, because they're starting to release the schedule, different panels that's happening, different events that are taking place, and things of that nature. But so I'll be doing another update video for TFN, and I want to try and get a Transformers review out as well. So yeah, I want to try and get caught up with things. But thank you. See you soon. Just take care of yourselves, and I will. Those are going to TFN. If you see me, if you recognise my face, come and say hello. If you're there for the first time, or feel free to come and say hello. But thank you. See you soon. Bye bye.